Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MUFC MPB here on YouTube today. Today is Friday, the 6th of October, and of course, it is 7 p.m. and it is myself, Brooks, for your evening show just before the start of the weekend and just before Manchester United face Brentford at Old Trafford tomorrow. So today's episode, as you can tell by the title, we will be focusing on a preview for the Brentford game at Old Trafford tomorrow. I want to say it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me just double check. But whilst I double check that, I will be taking you through a few of the other things we will be speaking about in today's episode. So, of course, there is a bit of a tragic news today. It came out earlier today that the wife of Sir Alex Ferguson, Cathy Ferguson, has passed away. So, obviously, rest in peace to her. There's condolences to the family there and everybody from MUFC MPB, and I would imagine and hope all of the other Manchester United fan channels and news channels and reports, everything to do with Manchester United and from other clubs as well, wish Sir Alex Ferguson and family the best on the passing of his wife and a mother, a friend, a sister, an auntie, everything. We wish them all the best, and we hope everything is good with Sir Alex as well. Obviously, this is going to be a very, very tough time for the family and everybody involved. So from everybody here on MUFC MPB, we say rest in peace to Cathy Ferguson, and we hope everything else is all well and everything will be all right. These things happen and it's just very unfortunate. It's never ever nice to hear. But as I said, everybody from MUFC MPB, we wish everything. We wish all the blessings and all of that to Sir Alex Ferguson and family. It's a very sad time. It's not news you really want to wake up to. It's not news you really want to hear about, but it is news we're hearing now, and we wish them all the best. We will be speaking about a Timber brother. A Timber brother as in Jurriën Timber's brother, Quinton. I believe the second pronunciation was the correct one. We will be speaking about Federico Chiesa again, the return of Anthony, and we have some quotes from Gary Neville on Erik ten Hag. So there are quite a few things to talk about today. I hope you guys have had a really good week, by the way. But I do just want to start off by saying, if you haven't already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button as well as the like button. Make sure you do follow at MUFC MPB over on X, as well as myself, Ash and Anil. All of our links are in the description down below. If you want to keep up to date with all of the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, gossip, leaks, anything to do with Manchester United, make sure you follow MUFC MPB over on Twitter, or X as it is called now, and you'll be kept up to date with all of the most reliably sourced information. So let's just get straight into it. Now, the match tomorrow is a 3 p.m. kickoff, so it won't be on TV, but it does mean another match at Old Trafford. I'd say since Erik ten Hag came in, yes, our away form has been, I want to say tragic, but I don't think that's enough of an adjective for this. I think it's been abysmal. I think there's been some sort of a capitulation in behind the scenes relating to why we are so terrible away. We really struggle away. Matches from 10 years ago, away matches from 10 years ago where we're thinking, oh my God, yeah, okay, I'm not even nervous for this. I'm thinking maybe 3-4-0. Our matches today that we think, we probably could lose 3 or 4-0, and that's the difference. And I will speak about this a little bit later on to link it to Gary Neville and what he said. But we are luckily at home. We did lose our most recent home match, which was the Champions League match against Galatasaray. That in itself was a capitulation. We took the lead twice and then ended up losing through a series of mistakes, and everything just went wrong. So it wasn't a very good day, but hopefully we can resurrect our home form, which to be perfectly honest to Ten Hag and the guys, the team, has been relatively decent. It has been quite good. I think in the Premier League, the last home match we lost, I'm going to have to double check this as well, because I feel like we've lost a home match this season. But last season, the only home match we lost was the one against Brighton, which was it the opening day or the second match or something. And then for the rest of the campaign, we were pretty much untouchable at home. So hopefully we can carry that form on this season at the very least and find a way to fix our away form. But Brentford are tomorrow's visitors. So there will be a few things to talk about. I'm going to take you through the Premier League table just first. Only Manchester United, Brentford's positions. Currently, Manchester United are sitting in 10th. We've played 7 games, won 3 and lost 4. And we are on 9 points. Brentford are only 2 points behind us. They've also played 7. However, they've only won 1 game, drawn 4 and lost twice. So in a sense, they've lost half the amount of games, so they are more difficult to beat. However, they can't seem to find a way to put teams to bed. And even though it might have been a bit easier for opposition against Manchester United to actually beat us, I think there is a little bit of okay, tomorrow we are not the underdogs, or I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to expect from tomorrow because of how we've been performing lately. But I'm hoping that, the form that Brentford have been on is going to carry on to this, because they haven't been able to get the results. And traditionally over the past 2 or something years, with Thomas Frank as the manager, he's a very, very good manager. I think he might be a bit underrated or maybe misunderstood. Maybe he doesn't fit the conventional appearance of a football manager. He's got the long hair. He doesn't look like an Alex Ferguson. He doesn't look like a Guardiola. He doesn't look like a Simeone. He looks like something else. He doesn't look like a manager, but maybe that plays into the style of football he likes to play at Brentford. I don't know. I think with the team that they have at the moment, of course they're without Ivan Toney, who actually played a behind closed doors game. I think it was earlier this week or late last week for Brentford. They haven't been able to use or utilise their main focal point, their star player at all this season. And obviously that was a consequence of what happened. But of course they do have in his place Yohan Wissa, who's been deployed as the striker alongside Brian Mbeumo this season. I think they're 2 very dangerous players and 2 players that could cause us a lot of problems. I think with Mbeumo, you have someone there who could definitely get a move to a club playing Europa League, pushing for Champions League football at a stretch. I think he's very talented. He's much younger than I originally thought he was. He's only 24 years old. I'm older than him, which is astonishing. He's born 2 weeks after me to the day. So, maybe I could, I don't know. He's 2 weeks younger than me, but he's a genuine talent. I think Brentford, they get the best out of him. He's a left-footed right winger by trade, I believe, and he's very, very, very dangerous. He's a creative person in that team who links very well with Ivan Toney. It's something that we saw last season when they beat us 4-1, I believe it was, at the Community Stadium. And they also have Yohan Wissa. When Ivan Toney is there, when Ivan Toney is able to play, and what he's been doing over the past few years, Yohan Wissa has kind of been an understudy or a sporadic first-team player. But this season, he's been, starting from the jump. He's been deployed in the striker position alongside Mbeumo. And to be perfectly honest, I know they haven't been very good this season. They haven't got the points, which I think represent the way they've been playing football. I think those 2 up front are very good together. I know they're both fast, they're both agile, they both got good touches, they both got good decision making. They just haven't been able to make it fully click, and by that I mean they haven't been able to recreate that partnership that I'd say Ivan Toney and Mbeumo had last season. So here's to hoping that tomorrow is a continuation of that, and they're not able to breach our defence, because we are in desperate need of a clean sheet. And I think especially Onana is in desperate need of a clean sheet more than anybody else, because he needs to find a way to get his confidence back. We need to help him out a lot more. And of course, Brentford aren't a team to be taken lightly by any stretch of the imagination or any sense of the word. They are a dangerous, dangerous team who can cause anybody problems. And they have been causing teams problems since they came in the Premier League. They have listen, as I said a few times, this season they haven't been able to produce the results that they would have wanted or maybe should have deserved. But more often than not, they have a very, very solid team. A 3 at the back with a 5 across the midfield, and with their right midfielder and left midfielder being more defensive in terms of their natural positions. Aaron Hickey is someone who I'm a fan of, a 21-year-old Scottish international. Where did he come from again? Was it Bologna? I'm not 100% sure. It was an Italian team. I can't remember. Bologna or Cagliari or something like that. But he's a dangerous player as well. And I think with the players that we have available and more so not available, I'm talking about our fullback situation. I think their wide game is going to be something they try to exploit, getting crosses into the box, playing down wide, and something that Manchester United have been very guilty of, especially this season, is giving players way too much time when they're in those wide, dangerous positions to look up and pick a pass out to people that are in the box. And as a result of that, we conceded a lot of goals. Perfect example, the most recent game was against Galatasaray. We took the lead through Rasmus Højlund to make it 2-1, and then literally just a couple minutes later, wide play, played centrally to a player in a lot of time who can... When I say a lot of time, I mean literally just 2 or 3 seconds. That is a lot of time at the top level of football. Take a touch and pick a finish. I think Danny Welbeck as well, his goal for Brighton. João Pedro as well, his goal for Brighton, as well as Pascal Gross, I believe it was. We've been guilty of affording players way too much time running down our flanks and being able to pick out passes in the middle. Whether that's down to our fullback situation or whether that's down to our midfielders or central defenders not being able to anticipate or read what's going on, not reacting quick enough, whatever it is, it's a culmination of everything resulting in us conceding way too many simple and cheap goals. Now, Brentford are very, very good down the wings. They play with a lot of width. Naturally, Brian Mbeumo would be on the right hand side, and he does drift over there quite a lot when he plays centrally like he is now. And the same with Joran Wissa. So this is something we have to be very, very careful of. Now, if Reguilon isn't past fit or available for tomorrow, I would expect to see Sofiane Amrabat playing in the left back position. However, I wouldn't expect to see him drifting as much as he has been recently because of how good Brentford are down the left and down the right. He's going to have to be a lot more positionally restricted. He's going to have to play more like a traditional left back, I guess, tomorrow, or I would assume, if we're not on it, if we're not playing the football we should be playing, and if we allow Brentford, if we don't give Brentford enough respect, and if we give them too much time on the ball, you will see an Amrabat tomorrow more in the left back position than any other, because since he's come in, he's only really played left back or started there or come in that position, but he has been able to... You've seen him play cam, you've seen him pop up on the right, you've seen him pop up in the centre defensive midfield position as well as a central midfield position, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that tomorrow, because if anything, it's a bit of a luxury. It's a luxury you can have when you're controlling games, when you're really the dominant side, but when you come up against a team who are very, very effective down the width, I don't think it's something which you can afford to do as much. I think the risks might be too high. So given the expected lineup tomorrow, I would put Amrabat at left back and expect to see him in that left back position for as much as possible tomorrow, helping out the defence as much as he can, and he does do a good job there. He is a very, very good player. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know why a team hasn't gone in for him sooner. Maybe it might have been the World Cup in which he was able to, let me show everybody what I can do. And he did a very good job with that. Morocco, of course, being the first African side to reach the semi-finals. And Sofiane Amrabat being one of the main reasons, or if not the main reason, they were able to reach that stage of the competition. But of course, that's not saying, we got him, we're just going to win everything now. It's, we've got him. We need to be able to use him to the best of his abilities, and that's not something we've really been able to do so far. So I'm hoping, I'm really, really hoping by a miracle that Sergio Reguilon is available for tomorrow, so we can see Sofiane Amrabat in his best position and get the best out of him, because we need that. We're in need of it. We haven't been good recently. We haven't been getting the results in any sense of the word, and slowly but surely the players will be coming back from injury. We've got Mainu soon, we've got Ahmad soon, hopefully we've got Reguilon soon, Luke Shaw's coming back to the training ground. Who else is there? Who's the centre-back? Lissandro Martinez, he's going to be out for a while, but as I said, slowly and surely players will be coming back and we will be getting back to full strength. But with tomorrow, I do just want to go through what I expect the starting lineup to be. Now, this might be a controversial one because, of course, Anton has been making a lot of mistakes, and mistakes that he really shouldn't be making or even be thinking about. It's not something we should be talking about. But I would keep him in the side because as I said, you need to get his confidence back. The only way to get your confidence back is if you're playing and if you're playing well, and he's the reason he will be playing well. This isn't down to Ten Hag is messing him up or the defenders are messing him up. Like, it's his mistakes, and he's going to be the one that owns them, as he already has, and he's going to be the one that says to himself, I need to turn this around. He doesn't need somebody else, or he doesn't need the manager to come and say to him, Andre, what's going on? You're not playing so what? He will know deep down, not even deep down, he will just know that he's not playing well, and he needs to find a way to get back to the form he was at and the quality he can play at, and show us why we did sign him, and show us why he has been nominated for the best goalkeeper in the world for the past season. Show us why he was one of the best players on the pitch in the Champions League final. He hasn't done that so far for us. You've seen glimpses. You've seen what he can do. You've seen what he's intending to bring to the team, and you can see how the team around him is able to adapt to his style of play. Okay, maybe that's not the right word. You can see why the team around him are able to adapt to the way Erik ten Hag really wants to play, and Onana is a big reason. Modern day goalkeepers are required to play football a lot more than what we would have expected 15 years ago. That's not to say a keeper like Edwin van der Sar couldn't come out today and be the best keeper in the world, because he would be up there. But the modern day goalkeeper is effectively the 12th man on the pitch legally for the team. Someone who can start plays, someone who can receive the ball on the back foot with a striker pressing them and not actually have to just boot it long first time. They can scan when the ball's coming to them, quick look over their shoulder, take that touch and play it out. And that's what Onana tried to do against Galatasaray. He obviously just missed the player, or he misplaced the pass, and Mertens was then clean through and then was taken out for the penalty, in which resulted in Casemiro getting sent off. And I know people are going to be like, De Gea wouldn't have done that. But what De Gea would have done was just, usually he would have just kicked it long, or maybe, miscompleted a pass. And I know Onana miscompleted that pass, but this is what I'm trying to say. There is a certain way Manchester United want to play. And with that, it is risky football. Playing it out from the back, from your keeper, and you have people pressing, that's risky. But the best keepers can do it. Onana has been doing it. He just made a mistake. All keepers make mistakes. And I think this reactionary reaction to Andre Onana making that mistake, and people say, drop him, do this and that. We're forgetting that Alisson got turned inside out by Alisson, who was it? I honestly can't remember the player, can't remember the match, but Alisson's made mistakes. He's tried to Cruyff turn and beat... Who was it? Leeds. It was the Leeds match, and Aronson scored. That's Alisson making a mistake. Ederson's almost made vital mistakes. Remember the match against Manchester City at Old Trafford? It was the game we won 2-0. Scott McTominay scored that goal from 40 something yards out when he rolled it out. That's a mistake. Another mistake in that match, he took a loose touch. What the point I'm trying to get across is, all goalkeepers make mistakes. Unfortunately for Onana, these mistakes, hopefully to be eradicated soon, have come in a short space of time. It seems to be every other match. Sometimes the mistakes aren't resulting in a direct goal, but more recently they have been, and I think that's the problem. Some people will be saying Binder should come in tomorrow, but I don't think he should. I think there's a reason you sign a backup keeper. I don't think backup keepers are there to play when a goalkeeper makes a mistake. I think they're there to provide competition. Very rarely do you see two keepers at the same club at the same level, or the second keeper might actually be better than the first keeper. That's rare. It's really rare. It's done methodically. The research, when you're signing a backup keeper, they are signing with the complete understanding that they are the backup keeper. Look at the third choice. Look at Tom Heaton. He will be fully aware that Onana's making mistakes, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go and get a game. But Yunde will be aware, maybe less so because of, he will be better than Tom Heaton, that just because Onana's made a mistake, it doesn't mean I'm going to get my chance. I know Onana's made a lot of mistakes in a short space of time, so maybe that chance might be coming sooner rather than later for Buyunde. But I don't think he'll be starting tomorrow, although a lot of people do. But I will just take you through the starting lineup, which I think Ten Hag will put out to field against Brentford tomorrow at 3 p.m. So I'm going to go with Onana in goal. Obviously, Dalot at right back with Varane, and I'm going to go with Maguire at centre-back. I'm also going to go with Victor Lindelof at left-back because he is competent. He is a competent footballer. He's good on the ball. He's not very slow, and we've seen him carry the ball forward. And especially with the way Manchester United play, I think he could be. I think he could do a job there. If Reguilon is fit, and if he's past fit, then I do expect him to start, but I'm not sure yet. I do want to see Now, this is an interesting one. Because Casemiro has picked up a red card, he is suspended for the next Champions League game against Copenhagen. Now, we saw it with... who was it? So, I've been watching a lot of old Match of the Days, and I was watching one last night. And there was a game in which Vidic was suspended for the next Champions League game, which wasn't the next game, it was in a couple of weeks. So, Johnny Evans, surprisingly, actually came in to form that, to try and strengthen that partnership with Rio Ferdinand. And I would hope, or kind of expect, or I wouldn't be surprised if Casemiro didn't play tomorrow because of that. I wouldn't be surprised if Amrabat was playing in the defensive midfield position next to Mount or next to Mejbri or next to Fernandes. Whoever's partnering him in the midfield, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Casemiro start tomorrow and we instead saw Amrabat play in that defensive midfield position because, of course, Casemiro isn't available for the next Champions League game and we need to build some sort of midfield trio that isn't just going into that Copenhagen game as a trio for the first time. Whether or not he does that against Brentford tomorrow, I don't know, but I would expect to see that at some point, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it tomorrow. So I would go with Lindelof at left back, and I would drop Casemiro for this game, and play Amrabat in his position next to Bruno Fernandes and Hannibal Mejbri. That would be my midfield: Amrabat, Fernandes, and Mejbri. Honestly, I'd play Rashford on the left. On the right, sorry. Cancel me. This is just what I think would work because he's a right-footed player, obviously. And playing off the left, I think it stifles some of the creativity he could actually produce if he was on the right. Because some of the balls that could get played through first time or quickly on his left foot, it's not a natural thing. It's I have to get on my right foot. I have to make this a right foot pass because it's natural. It's natural to me. And we saw the goal. Højlund's first goal against Galatasaray was from a Rashford cross. It was actually a very difficult ball and finish. So it's a very underrated goal. What's it called? It was a very underrated goal in terms of the execution of it. So I wouldn't be so mad if Rashford was starting on the right tomorrow, to be perfectly honest with you. But there are reports that Anthony could start again tomorrow. So, I don't know. We have to wait and see for that one. But then I would put Garnacho on the left. I just would. And then, of course, Højlund up front. So, my team for the Brentford match tomorrow will be Onana in goal, Lindelof at left back with Maguire and Varane at centre-backs with Dalot on the right. Amrabat in the middle. Mejbri and Fernandes partnering him or just in front. Rashford on the right. Sumi, Højlund up front, and then Garnacho on the left. Because with Garnacho, you have someone there who's just a bright spark. He's always attacking, always dribbling at players, always trying to create something. And with Rashford on the right, you have someone there who's doing the same thing, but in a sense, he's going to be forced to swing that ball into the box or forced to play it across the 6-yard box to a striker or to a runner. He's going to be forced to do something. He won't just stop. It's because he's not left-footed and he hasn't got the greatest left foot. I'd say he's strong on his left foot, but it will be like I want to kick it with my right foot. And when he's on the left, there's so many opportunities to put a pass in, to put a cross in, but he's not on his right foot, so he stops and cuts back, and then it takes away the momentum. I think if he's on the right, it forces him to do that. But Tony Bravo says, with the squad we have now, do you think Ten Hag is maximising their abilities? No. Well, okay. Ask that question again. With the squad that we have now, do you mean the squad if everybody's fit or the injury-ravaged squad? So let me know about that and then I'll answer the question. Champions League is 3 weeks away though. Yeah, but you have to build that partnership. And remember, Amrabat hasn't actually been deployed as a defensive midfielder yet. So I think now is the perfect time. Also as well, Casemiro has been very inconsistent this season. He's been good, but he's also been bad. So I think now if you needed a reason to put Amrabat DM, I would do it. Look, we should be beating Brentford tomorrow, and we do have the quality to do it. Remember, is the international break after this? Isn't the international break after this weekend? And then we have Copenhagen in terms of Manchester United's fixtures in a couple of fixtures. I think he has to put Amrabat in the DM position now. Evening here from Ash. Oh, okay. Hello, Ash. Scatty G. Is that Scatty G? Scatty Egg. Scatty G or Scatty Egg. Strongest team for Brentford and Sheffield United. 6 point would be welcome before the international break. Yeah, and I think Amrabat. Okay. Casemiro is and has been one of the best in this position for a very, very long time. Amrabat isn't one of the best in this position, but at this moment in time, I think he's playing better than Casemiro. I think he's had more of an impact on the team. I think putting him in that centre defensive midfield role with his physical attributes in terms of his ability to get across the ground quicker than Casemiro, I think he's stronger in the challenge than Casemiro. He might not read the game as well as Casemiro because not many people do. I think it won't be as much of a hindrance putting him instead of Casemiro as people think. That's why I would go with Amrabat. No way he drops Mount for Hannibal. Also, I think he starts Anthony. Yeah, that's why I didn't say Mount, because I don't know if Anthony's going to start. I would put Mount in on the right, to be honest, but I feel like if Anthony's available, he's going to get picked because he is like, he will be one of Erik ten Hag's favourites, and whether you like it or not, that's something we have to accept. With the squad that's healthy, not including unfit players. With the squad that's healthy, I think we're fine. Look, I know pre-season is pre-season, but we saw glimpses of, we saw like flickers and, oh wow, Erik ten Hag wants to play like this. Oh, that's why he signed Mount. That's why we're doing this, and that's why we've got this and that. I think it's there, but of course we genuinely haven't had the opportunity to select from every single person. I'm going to put you here. I want to do this. It's all been replacements and someone playing there when this is their position. And it's all been mix and match. And as much as that can't really be an excuse because you're Man United, you have the facilities and you have the ability to play these players. It is a factor. It is a factor. There's a reason why the best teams, even if they have injury, like look at Manchester City. Okay, they are the best team at the moment. Look at Manchester City. Even though they might have injuries, they've got someone else, not an almost identical player, but a player that can come in that position, their position, and play this almost at the same level or the same level, maybe even better sometimes, and it won't affect her, and it won't affect them, and they can carry on getting their results, and they can carry on just blitzing teams. With us, when we have our starting 11, and then we have the bench. Maybe 1, 2, 3 players on the bench could come on and it won't drop off as much. But anybody else that comes on, it's just, you all know it. Because when a certain player comes on, when certain players do come on, it's, oh my God, why are they coming on? Oh my, it's all of that. And I don't think that can go unnoticed. It is a real thing, and it's a real problem at Manchester United. With all of the players that we have, if they are all available, I think, yes, Erik ten Hag can get the best out of the team. And I think we did see some glimpses in pre-season. And I think when they do come back, I think the final player to come back will be Lisandro Martinez, actually. So when he comes back, hopefully, we don't have any more long-term injuries. You might obviously going to have a couple of niggles and knocks and stuff like that. And someone might be unavailable to start the game because they have a bruised toe or something. But I'm talking about no long-term injuries. When everybody's available for selection, everybody's training well, I think that's when you'll see the vision that Ten Hag has. When he dreams at night, he's thinking, I want to do this, and that's why we're going to win 4-0. And we can easily score 5 goals against this team. I think we have to wait for that, and we have to be patient. And that's why, me personally, I get upset and I get angry when we lose. But at the same time, I'm like, I can understand everybody's frustration, but I can also understand that we're playing makeshift teams. We're playing players that shouldn't really be playing just because we have injuries, and that's my side of it. With the squad that's healthy, not including unfit players. But yeah, that's my viewpoint on that. But that would be my team for the Brentford game tomorrow. Now, moving on, because we've got half an hour speaking about Brentford. There has been a new report. So last week, it was reported that Manchester United were interested or linked to Juventus winger Federico Chiesa. I think the Italy international is someone that I would like at Manchester United. I think the style of play he does produce when he does play is something that would fit us like a glove in terms of his directness, his fearlessness, and his ability to beat a man quite easily, actually. We saw it a lot in the Euros final when England did play Italy. He was a menace. He ran rings around Declan Rice, so that shouldn't go unnoticed. But there is a report from Calcio Mercato via Sport Witness. Manchester United, Newcastle, Aston Villa and Bayern Munich are all in the race to sign Juventus winger Federico Chiesa. Juve want close to 50 million euros. Get him. Get him in. 50 million euros for Chiesa. Get him in. That's like 45 to 43 million pounds. Get him in. Sorry. I don't know what happened there. You just get him in. I think he's a fantastic player. And I think this isn't somebody that we should be thinking, do we go and get him? You have to get him in. Because now you have Newcastle involved. Should be worried. Maybe not so much about Aston Villa. It just depends on how their season progresses. But Bayern Munich as well. They have an abundance of wingers. They have Leroy Sané, who's actually been linked to Bayern Munich, who's actually been linked to Real Madrid and Barcelona over the past few days. So maybe Chiesa might be a potential replacement for him. We don't know. But I'd be worried about Newcastle. I'd be very, very worried about Newcastle because, of course, look, they just beat PSG 4-1 in the Champions League. That is an amazing result for them. They're on the up. They have the money. They are building something. And I think Federico Chiesa is someone who can take them to that next step. I think what they're doing there is absolutely spot on. A lot of clubs get taken over and they get money and they go and try and sign the best as the first one. What Newcastle did, they signed a few players. They got Bruno Guimaraes, who was perfect for them at the time. Now they've got Tonali. They've got that Italian connection in the midfield. Chiesa, might be talking to Tonali. We don't know. I think he would be a fantastic signing for them, but I don't want them to get him. I want Manchester United to go and get Chiesa because I think he'd be a fantastic signing for us as well. Chiesa's swap deal with Jadon, unfortunately, it hasn't worked for him. Yes, in an ideal world, but I think Jadon has his heart set on going back to Borussia Dortmund because, as I said yesterday, he's been there before. He knows Dortmund, he knows Germany, he knows the club, he knows the fans. He'll be playing with players he was playing with a few years ago. He was happy there. He was producing there week in, week out. And I think for Jadon Sancho, it would be silly to turn down going back to Dortmund. So, yes, I would do a swap deal with Chiesa and Jadon, but I just couldn't ever see that happening, to be honest. I don't know if Jadon Sancho would want to go to Italy. I don't think it would suit him, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know. I think more wingers like Berardi and Leao and Kvaratskhelia are the wingers that are more like Chiesa. Yeah, Jadon Sancho and Chiesa are very different players. A player type or a player profile more close to someone like Chiesa is perfect for Italy. Jadon Sancho is not that. I thought he would be brilliant in the Prem and it hasn't worked out for him. But Germany, as he's proven before, is perfect. It's his stomping ground, really, isn't it? But yeah, we have been linked to Chiesa and Juventus are valuing him at around 50 million euros. So that's a deal I would definitely be all over. And if we did do that, I'll be very, very happy. But there is a bit more transfer news coming from Graham Bailey. Manchester United are monitoring Feyenoord midfielder Quinton Timber, who is a twin brother of Arsenal defender Jurrien Timber. Honest to God, I've never watched Quinton Timber play football. I don't know much about him. But in the past with Manchester United, we've signed many players who I haven't known a lot about, and they've gone on to be some of the best players we've had at the club. So just because I don't know about him, I'm not going to say, we can't sign him because I don't know about him. If he's been scouted properly, in a way, I'm more inclined to be, what's it called? Not supportive, but it's a Dutch player. and he plays in the Netherlands, obviously where Ten Hag used to manage. So maybe he has more of an understanding, or maybe the players that we do scout from the Netherlands are more of a fit like a glove type for Manchester United. So I don't know. I've honestly never seen him. I only found out Timber had a twin brother when we were in for him. So I can't really listen. I can't really give my 5 cents on that. So if we do go and get him as a central defensive midfielder, then I'd support that. I'd say, yeah, well done. I hope he comes in and does well. I hope he doesn't come in with the expectation of he has to be better than Casemiro, or he has to start straight away, or he has to do this and that. Honestly, whoever we sign, I just hope they come in and do well. But I don't know of the price, but I would imagine it would be around 20 to 25 million pounds or euros to get him in to play for us, maybe even in January. But yeah, he is the twin brother of Jurrien Timber, who, to be honest, we haven't even seen, because was it an ACL? Going to be out for the rest of the season, which he did pick up in the second game or the first game for Arsenal. I can't really remember. But those are the two transfer rumours that have been, I guess, developed over the past day since my show last night. But Samuel Luckhurst is reporting that Anthony could start against Brentford tomorrow. Now, I just want to get your opinions on this, because obviously he came back to the UK last week, which means he was back in Carrington in the next available training session. So he has been training with the team this week. We don't know what he was doing in Brazil. We don't know if he was training, or we don't know if he was stuck somewhere. We don't know. We don't know his fitness. We haven't seen him play since his last game. So look, if he's available and if he's fit and if he's raring to go, if he's producing in training, then yeah, start him, because why not? I know people are going to be like, oh, he just came back and he's Ten Hag favourite, but if he's the best available option to play on the right tomorrow, then play him, because we want to win. I wouldn't be against it. Look, if he comes in tomorrow and he looks sluggish and he looks unfit and he looks slow, then I'd be like, why is he playing Eric Ten Hag? Why are you playing Anthony? He's obviously not ready yet. But if he comes in and he's ripping it up, then cool, yeah, play him. He deserves to start. If he deserves to start, then he starts. Tony Bravo says, I'm really worried about our recruitment at United. I feel like people above Ten Hag provide nothing, and he's doing most of the work. That's why we keep getting linked to people Ten Hag would know. And I agree with that, and I'm honestly trying to take as many positives from whatever's going on at Manchester United as possible, if you couldn't already tell. It is difficult, but I'm trying to take positives. That's why I just said the fact that Ten Hag's worked in that league before, he's Dutch himself, which means he would have played against Timber before. He would have been watching him, maybe. He would know about him, basically. So he would know if Timber would be successful at Manchester United. He would know if he would add to the team or take from it. And, of course, Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag isn't going to sanction a signing that's going to negatively impact the team in terms of the player profile, the personality, Also as well, I know Timber plays for Arsenal, but if Ten Hag wants Quinton Timber at Manchester United, he definitely would have gone to Jurrien Timber and been like, what is your brother like? Is he good? Is he blah, blah. He's going to be asking Jurrien Timber questions. Let's not forget about that. So there would have been a lot. Listen, I don't know if this has come out literally today, or we've just picked up the phone to Feyenoord and been like, hi, we kind of want to talk to Quinton, blah, blah. We don't know if it's like that, or if it's 2 months ago we picked up the phone to Feyenoord and we started scouting Timber. We don't know how far along the process is. All we can see from this is that Manchester United are interested in Quinton Timber. We don't know how far along or how often, or even if at all, Ten Hag's been speaking to Jurrien Timber at Arsenal about his twin brother. We don't know. We can only speak about that, and we can only speak in the conditional tense, because it's if and if and if. None of it's the past tense, none of it's the present tense, and none of it's the future tense. It's all conditional tense. And I think that's something we have to take into consideration, because it might just be a rumour. It might just be something because he's Jurrien Timber's brother. We don't know. But yes, I am worried about the recruitment at United. And that's why I was very happy yesterday when it was brought out that we're linked to Berta. Can't remember his first name. the Atletico Madrid director of football. That's why I was happy about that, because yeah, there is a massive problem with recruitment at United. So many players we've had more negative transfers than we have had positive transfers, and as a club like Manchester United, as a club that's trying to fight for titles and all of that stuff, unacceptable. It's genuinely unacceptable. So yeah, there is a big problem with recruitment at United, and I'm hoping that gets resolved sooner rather than later, because to be perfectly honest with you, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm bored. I just want to win. I just want to succeed. Back in when Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill were there, when we signed Chicharito or Javier Hernandez, you'd be lying if you said, oh yeah, I've been watching him, I know about him. But he came in and he was very good. He understood his role and he executed his role to the best of his ability. Now we sign players that we know about and they just mess up because they don't fit what Manchester United need. They fit what the club wants Manchester United to be about, and that's about having the best players. Well, what they think the club should be about. That's about having the best players, having the most shirt sales, and having the most points on the board, because you've gone and signed Di Maria, you've gone and signed Falcao, you've gone and signed Ibrahimovic, you've gone and signed Bastian Schweinsteiger. All of these players, the big household names that we've been signing recently that haven't worked out, isn't because necessarily the manager isn't right. It's because of the recruitment, and whoever's in charge of getting these players in are thinking, Radamel Falcao is 89 rated on FIFA. He was on the Ballon d'Or podium a few years ago. He's been tearing it up. What they probably and stupidly didn't look at was he's at Monaco now. He's been injured for ages. He's not the player he used to be. You're still signing the name. Hopefully, I'm not saying any big player that we sign is going to be a mess, but I'm hoping that the players that we're signing in, for the future, in terms of the next players that we sign, yeah, if it's a big name, if it wasn't Osimhen or something, I'd hope they would have gone through the necessary protocol to decide whether he would actually work at Manchester United, not just sign him because his name is Victor Osimhen. Now, Quinton Timber, I wouldn't imagine a lot of people have seen him play, because the Eredivisie isn't the easiest to access in the UK. I would hope that they've gone through the checklist. Does he have the right mental? Yes. Is he a position that we need? Yes. Are his attributes something that we're missing out on? Yes. Can he help get the best out of the players that are around him? Yes. I don't know all the checklists that they have to go through, but I'd hope every single box, or at least 9 out of 10 boxes, are ticked yes. I think in the past, the top box was, will they get shirt sales? Do a lot of people know who they are? Are they a household name? Are they famous? In their career, have they been playing very well? And then at the bottom, will they help Manchester United? I think these boxes are ticked yes, and then the bottom box might be ticked yes sometimes. Like Ibrahimovic, he definitely helped us, but with someone like Falcao, I don't think it was ticked, and I just don't think they went through the necessary protocol when it came to recruiting them, and that's just the unfortunate truth. But that had Manchester United as been, because listen, we all know very well as Manchester United fans, we haven't been performing at the level that we really should have been performing at, and that's massively down to the recruitment. We've been selling the wrong players and we've been buying the wrong players. Look, we sold Chris Smalling. Why did we sell Chris Smalling? He's better than anything that we've had at the club before Varane came in and Lisandro Martinez came in. He's better than Lindelof. He's better than Rojo. He's better than Harry Maguire. But we sold him and we signed those guys. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's the recruitment mess. That's the mess the recruitment have been operating in for a very, very long time. But I do have a couple more things to talk about. Gary Neville has been speaking about Manchester United and Erik ten Hag. And he's been speaking specifically about Manchester United's start to the season. So I'm just going to read these out and I'll discuss them for a little bit. See if I can get your thoughts on this as well. But Gary Neville on Manchester United's start to the season. Scruffy, very scruffy, up and down, inconsistent, injuries and lots of things going wrong on the pitch. Lots of things going wrong off the pitch. I feel very sorry for Erik ten Hag. I know a lot of people will say he's got to do a lot better. Better, and that's fine. He's the Manchester United manager, but there are a lot of big problems at the club that managers have found over the last 10 years. I think until the problems are solved at Manchester United, we'll still continue to see underperforming teams, underperforming players. It's become a graveyard for coaches and players. It's not too strong a term. I think that was the most Gary Neville impression you'll ever hear. To be perfectly honest, I think it was spot on. I'm very bad at the Manchester accent. But Scatty said, well, Ash says the player signings for the wrong reasons. I feel only just changed this last window. Yeah, definitely. Højlund and Amrabat are tenacious and there for the shirt, and Mount as well. I think Mount looks like a Manchester United player. I was always happy with him. As soon as we were linked to him, I like Mason Mount. I always have. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's young. In terms, like, he's a similar age to me. That sounded mad. He's a similar age to me. He comes from London. He comes from near me. I don't know him. I've never met him. But as the same with Sancho, the same with a lot of players that come from the South London area and the Kingston area, which is close to me as well. It's like, wow, someone from down the road is playing for my team. I love that. Or playing in the Champions. It makes me feel good. It makes me bond. It makes me create that connection with them. I don't know. So I've always liked Mason Mount, and of course I like him for his ability as well. But I was happy that we bought him, and I think against Galatasaray, he showed that he is actually a Manchester United player, and him and Højlund especially, I think, are going to go on to do good things. They're both very young as well. But with the Gary Neville comments, I totally agree. It is a graveyard. Going to manage Manchester United has to be up there with one of the, if not the toughest job in world football, because it doesn't matter who you are. Look, we've had Mourinho, who won trophies here. We've got Ten Hag, who was one of the most sought after coaches in European football. He did an amazing job at Ajax. We've had Louis van Gaal, who was he's a legendary manager. He didn't do very well at Manchester United. Yes, he won us the FA Cup, but it was a spell that was all over the place. It was comical. We've had Ralph Rangnick, who is the godfather of the Gegenpress. Managers like Tuchel, Jurgen Klopp, Nagelsmann. Ralph Rangnick is their mentor. They learnt from him. Yes, he didn't manage in a good few years, but he did it. I think he came in to do a different type of job, and I think he did that job well. I just don't think he managed the side very well. We've had big names in the managerial hot seat, but everything that stayed consistent is the Glazers, is Murta, Woodward, Richard Arnold. All of these guys have stayed the same, and it's amazing to me, whether or not it's about football, they are the common denominators. They are the same people who have been there the whole time. If they can't realise that it's them, that's the problem. If they do realise that it's them and they're just sticking around because they're stubborn and ignorant, then that's a different type of problem. But if they don't know it's them and they are the reason that these consistencies have, these negative consistencies are consistent, then that's a different problem. But it's annoying. Gary Neville is 100% right. What was the one I was reading? There's 3 different ones. He said up and down, inconsistent, injuries and lots of things going wrong on the pitch and lots of things going wrong off the pitch. So, of course, injuries are something that you only have a certain amount of control over. And by that, I mean the control you have over it is the fitness coaches that you bring in, the medical team that you bring in, I don't know, I'm going to say biomedical science, like the nutritionists and stuff like that. That's the level of control that you have over it. Yeah, of course, if someone goes on the pitch and breaks their leg, that's out of your control. You can't do anything about that. But we've been getting a lot of muscle injuries, and muscular injuries don't happen. They shouldn't happen this often. They don't happen in places where everything is done correctly in terms of the nutrition, the fitness, the training plan, the training regime, the fitness coaches. You don't get a lot of muscular injuries there. You get a lot of muscular injuries when you're on the pitch and you're running about, but your body isn't ready for that because you haven't been taking in the right nutrition. You haven't been eating the right food. You haven't been training correctly. Maybe we don't train hard enough. So when we're playing in the game and we have to keep up, it's like, what's going on? My hamstring's on the other side of the pitch. It could be a number of reasons. It could be down to the staff and the lack of competent fitness coaches or whatever, or it could be down to the fact that players just aren't actually training that hard, or they're training at 90% and in the match they're playing at 100% and your body's in shock. Your body isn't stretched enough. Your body isn't ready. The fast twitch muscles aren't being used as much in training. So when you go into a match, gone. It could be a number of reasons, but yeah, it is scruffy and very, very messy on and off the pitch. Tony Bravo says, Scatty G says, Mount's injuries last season concern me. Be happy for him to prove me wrong. With injuries as well, you get players that are cursed with injuries. Someone like Abu Diaby was cursed with injuries. I loved Abu Diaby. I know he played for Arsenal, but I can appreciate a very good player. He was cursed with injuries. I think someone like Mason Mount isn't cursed with injuries. I think he was just unfortunate. I think hopefully with the right people around him, the right coaches, which I don't even know if we have, to be perfectly honest with you, he can avoid those injuries. But yeah, I hope he proves you wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he proves every one of his doubters wrong at Manchester United. Tony Bravo says our squad lacks a lot of ability. Oh, okay. I get what you're doing. Our squad lacks a lot of ability and intensity. That was good. That was alright, you know. On a serious note, what Gary Neville said is spot on, and it feels like I've heard that through every manager post Sir Alex. That's because the common denominator are the Glazers, Arnold, Murta, and it was Woodward, but he, actually woke up one day and had common sense and left. So those are the common denominators, and they are the reasons why the same problems persist and they don't go away. So Mr. Stat said the white dot that was on your screen is gone. Yeah. So basically you see this background here, like that dot there, that red dot, that's all part of the picture on the background, and then there's a cutout for my webcam, but for some reason there was a white dot there and I couldn't get my webcam above it and still be in the frame cutout. So I've got two webcams basically. Well, there's one webcam but two sources, but one is just cropped just over the white dot, so it's a little bit of genius there. But I will just talk about something which we spoke about at the beginning. There are a few more of you here now. So of course, unfortunately today, Cathy Ferguson, who is Sir Alex Ferguson's wife, passed, and Manchester United did release a statement. I will read that statement now, and then I'll read you, I guess, a little bit of a fun story about her and her relationship with Sir Alex that it might put a smile on your face. It put a smile on my face, so I will kind of brighten the mood. But the statement from Manchester United reads: Everyone at Manchester United sends our heartfelt condolences to Sir Alex Ferguson and his family on the passing of Lady Cathy. Lady Cathy was a beloved wife, mother, sister, grandmother and great-grandmother, and a tower of strength for Sir Alex throughout his career. And it's true. People say behind every great man is a strong woman, and with Sir Alex this was definitely the case. So there is a report or a story here that reads: as Fergie pointed out many times, he could never have been successful without Cathy. It was love at first sight the first time he met her at Remington Shaving Factory. Upon returning home after a win, Fergie was greeted by Cathy telling him the washing machine was broke. She allowed no trophies on display at her home and retained her working class Glasgow humility until the end. A beautiful soul who United fans owe so much to. Deepest condolences to Sir Alex Ferguson and his family. And I think it's true. We owe, as much as we owe to Sir Alex Ferguson, we owe to his wife, his late wife. I wouldn't expect people to, I know Cathy, I saw her down the road, or I'm good friends. I don't know everything about Cathy. I don't really know anything about her. But whatever we thank Sir Alex Ferguson for, we have to pass on those thanks to his wife, because when you're in a relationship, I'm going to speak as if I've been in a relationship before, but when you're in a relationship, the partner that you have is a big reason as to what you do. They help you whether you want to accept it or not, subconsciously or subconsciously. The things you do affect them. The things that affect them. The things you do, the things you decide to do, they will be in your mind as well. In the story there, it says she didn't allow trophies in the home. She wanted to keep her working class Glasgow humility. And I think little things like that are a massive thing. You might be thinking, oh, why didn't she let trophies or all of his trophies be on display? That's his accomplishment. You should be happy for him. She definitely was happy for him, but she understands she needed to keep him on the ground as well. We know Sir Alex Ferguson to be a ruthless, very driven, a very motivated manager. We know him like that because I'll put it like this. How do we know he would have been as successful as he was if he wasn't with Cathy, or if she let him put the trophies on, or if she kind of boosted his ego every time he got it? We don't know that. We just know that whatever she was doing, however she was running the house, however she was disciplining him, however she was working around him, it benefited him and it benefited Manchester United, which in turn benefited us. It allowed us to fall in love with Manchester United. It allowed us to build that sort of connection with Sir Alex Ferguson and the players and the other staff and even the lady on reception. Everything about Manchester United and his tenure there, we can all say thank you to Cathy, and we can all say rest in peace, and we can all say we're going to miss you, and we're going to... It's a sad day, not just for Sir Alex Ferguson's family. It's a sad day for everybody involved with Manchester United, because we owe so much to her as well. He owes so much to her. And I think, thank God I haven't been seeing any disrespectful and laughing emojis and stuff like that, because this isn't something to be taken lightly. Tony Bravo says, rest in peace, Cathy. Hopefully Sir Alex Ferguson stays strong. And yeah, definitely. That's something which we haven't really spoken about, or I haven't really been seen spoken about. Sir Alex Ferguson is old himself. These things happen. When couples get really old, someone's going to go first. Someone's going to start walking up the stairs first. Now we have to be thinking, we have to make sure Sir Alex Ferguson is in the right place. I know he isn't the manager anymore, but he's a Manchester United legend. He is Manchester United. Everything needs to be done to make sure he's okay and he's fine. Make sure, put a smile on his face as much as possible, or as much as is necessary, and just keep an eye on him. I'm hoping tomorrow the perfect send-off gift for Cathy would be a win for Manchester United against Brentford, and I think we will win tomorrow. I don't think if this happened today it would be a different result. I think we win either way, but we have to win. We just have to win. We have to win. There's no Brentford are strong. Maybe we can go away with a draw and be happy. No, we have to win. We have to win against Brentford tomorrow. It's reported as well, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but half-mast. So there's like a pole, and when the Queen died, basically, the flags on Buckingham Palace weren't all the way at the top. They were halfway up. And at Manchester United, flags will be halfway up to pay respects to both Cathy Ferguson, well, Lady Cathy and Sir Alex Ferguson. So it's going to be a different type of day at Manchester United tomorrow, but I will expect the stadium to be booming, to be chanting for her, to be chanting for him, and to be pushing the team as much as they can go on to really... I think the best way for Manchester United tomorrow to pay respects to Cathy is to just deliver a win. Is to just play the way... I don't... Okay, I have to be careful what I say, because these players... We know these players, they're fickle and they're divas. I'm not going to lie. If I'm seeing players walking around tomorrow, take them off. Take them off. Just take them off. That's not something I ever want to see, but especially tomorrow. I don't care if you're Rashford. I don't care if you're Bruno. I don't care if you're Højlund. I don't care who you are. If you're not putting in that effort on a day like tomorrow, if you're not pressing that man, if you're not sprinting back, you're off. If I was a manager, this is what I'd be saying in the change room. Well, just what I said. If you're not going to put in the effort, you're off, and you probably won't play the next match. You're just coming off the pitch. But Tony says, you're right. We need to win for Cathy. What do you think the score will be? Surely a smashing. 4 at least. I don't think we'll concede. Mainly because I think Maguire and Varane will be the partnership, and statistically and factually, they are a very, very good partnership. They haven't lost. So I don't think we'll concede. I think Højlund is confident, and Højlund will be confident and deserves to be confident, because he's top scorer in the Champions League. He scored 2 in the last game, and he is a big threat. I think Mason Mount will be feeling confident. Amrabat will be feeling confident. I think the spine of our team, probably apart from Anana, will be feeling quite will be feeling quite confident, and I would expect maybe a 3 or 4-0. Sorry, I've been quite ill recently, and when I'm ill, I get really gassy, and it just doesn't stop. That was disgusting. I'm sorry, but that's just unfortunately the way my body works. I think it's going to be a 3 or 4-0, to be honest. From half an hour before kickoff, you're going to have to turn your TV down because it's going to be so loud until after the final whistle. And as I said, if you're walking, if you're jogging, if you're not putting in that effort, you're off. And that's how I'm going to leave you guys. But I do just want to say, if you haven't already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button as well as the like button to keep up to date with MUFC MPB here on YouTube. But if you do want something more, make sure you do follow at MUFC MPB over on X, as well as myself, Ash Meppers, and Anil Kandola. All of our links will be in the description down below. So make sure you do follow those. Last comment here. Tony Brower says, I remember seeing an Amazon doc on City, and Pep gave an intense speech before a game because of David Silva's child having health problems. We need that type of energy and big speech from Ten Hag. That exactly. When you're at Manchester United, when you're connected with the club, whatever happens to your teammate, to someone above, to anybody, if Ten Hag, God forbid something happened to Ten Hag's wife, she got hurt or something, you play for your manager, because that's your mentor, that's your manager. You're playing for him. You're playing for her. Sir Alex Ferguson is the biggest Manchester United thing. Like, when you think of Manchester United, you probably think of George Best, you probably think of Duncan Edwards, you probably think of Ronaldo, Rooney, the treble, but above all of that, you think of Sir Alex Ferguson, who led Manchester United through one of their most, or if not their most successful period, the complete and utter dominance that he had over the rest of Europe, and especially England, the Fergie time, the intimidation that he had over the referees, the intimidation that he had, maybe not intimidation, but the respect he earned from his players and other managers and other players. You wanted to be signed by Manchester United just to play for Sir Alex Ferguson. You'd run through a marble wall, not even a brick wall. You'd run through stone for Sir Alex Ferguson. You'd do anything for Sir Alex Ferguson. And if you want a bit more of an insight, make sure you watch that David Beckham documentary, by the way. I'm still on episode 1. I haven't really carried on watching it because I've been working, I've been busy. But Sir Alex Ferguson, he's much more than you think. But yeah, maybe the speech will get recorded, but I don't know. I don't know if it will be recorded. I don't think it needs to be recorded. I think it just needs to be said. Scotty G says, Eric Ten Hag needs to not be scared of taking players off 20-30 minutes in if they're not performing. I do it on FIFA. I do it on Football Manager. If you're not performing, you're off, especially tomorrow. If you are not performing, you are coming off, and that will be the biggest kick in the teeth these players can get. As I said, I don't care who you are. You could be Højlund. If Anana's messing about, take him off and put him. It could be anybody. Anybody on that pitch. Nobody is safe. And that's just, I'm glad you agree, because that's the way I think it should be. But, of course, we are coming to the end of the episode. My score prediction for tomorrow is going to be 3-0. Let me know yours down below, or if you can't do it now, let me know on Twitter. I hope Manchester United win. The biggest condolences, and we pay respects to everybody in the Ferguson family, everybody at MUFC MPB. We say rest in peace to Lady Cathy. We wish Sir Alex Ferguson, his mum, his sister, her daughter, her grandchildren, all the best. Everybody involved with that family and at Manchester United, we wish them all the best. It's not the best news you want to hear, but it is news we have heard, and we have to react. Manchester United tomorrow have to go out there and play like they've never played before. Anything less won't be accepted by anybody. It won't be accepted by the manager. Definitely won't be accepted by the fans. But I really, really hope, for everybody involved, the players, Sir Alex Ferguson, the family, I really hope that Manchester United tomorrow perform. Because if they don't, it won't just be annoying because we've lost again. It will be just an insult. It will be an insult to everything Sir Alex Ferguson has worked for at Manchester United. But I will leave you on that. I hope you guys have a very, very good weekend. Ash will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. presenting for you guys. most probably be a reaction to the Brentford match. I'll be back on Sunday, and then Ash will be back on Monday, Anil Tuesday, and then you know how it goes. I hope you guys are getting used to this rotation, and I hope you guys know who's presenting on which days, and of course it will be at 7 p.m. every single evening. But I'll leave you on that, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday.